Hi, my name is Tony Giardini. I'm the president and CEO of Trilogy Metals. And today I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Trilogy story, give an update on our developments in the Ambler Mining District in the great state of Alaska. Trilogy is listed on the Toronto and New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol TMQ. For more information on Trilogy, I encourage you to go to our website where a copy of this presentation is available. More information on the company is also available, trilogymetals.com. So with that, let me get started, and I'm going to tell you about Trilogy and the Ambler Mining District. Before I begin, let me point out that I'll be making certain forward-looking statements as are highlighted in these two slides. So Trilogy has a 50% interest in the Ambler Mining District. The Ambler Mining District is a district that's been explored since the 1950s. And our interest was acquired in and around 2003, and then we entered into a joint venture with NANA, which is a native corporation in the state of Alaska, in 2011. We have three partnerships that I'll be talking about. One is with NANA, the second one is with our joint venture partner in the district, South32, and the third is with ADA. And right now what we have is a 50% interest in this district. As you can see from this slide, there's significant copper, zinc, gold, and silver there. We're located in the great state of Alaska. It's high grade. We've got two advanced projects. One is an advanced development project, Arctic, which has a net present value of roughly $1.1 billion at base case prices. I'll give you more information on that. It's a high grade deposit of roughly over 4% copper equivalent grades. And then we have an advanced exploration project called Bornite, which has about 6 billion pounds of copper, 77 million pounds of cobalt. As far as the company goes, as I said, we're listed on the New York and Toronto Stock Exchange. We've got a cash position of around $11 million. But in addition to that, we also have a see-through value of cash in the joint venture, which is the entity that is overseeing the Ambler Mining District. That JV has $140 million in it. So our see-through value of that is $70 million. So in aggregate, we have roughly $80 million in liquidity against a market cap of $370 million. We have large institutional shareholders. The Electrum, Baupost, and Polson have been with us from the start when the company was spun out in 2012. South32 also owns about 11%. Management and the board own over 2%. So in total, we're talking about 63% of the company, and the shareholders are listed on this slide. In terms of our partnerships, I mentioned three of them, South32, NANA, and State of Alaska, and I'll go through each of those. The South32 relationship really stems from their investment in Trilogy and the Ambler Mining District. So in 2020, South32 invested $145 million to acquire a 50% JV interest. In addition to the $145 million, they had previously invested $30 million in exploration. And as I indicated, they own 11% of the stock. So they're a partner in the Ambler Mining District. What they bring to the table is obviously operational expertise and skills, and a development skill set that we'll be leveraging off of as we move a project from the development phase into actual construction operating phase. The second partnership is with NANA. NANA is a native organization which is focused on the northwest part of the state. They have 14,000 shareholders that are native Alaskans located in the Northwest Arctic Borough. NANA has a rich mining history in that they are partners with Teck in the Red Dog mine, which is the largest zinc mine in the world. And in many respects, we're modeling the development of the Ambler Mining District on the development of Red Dog. So NANA has an ability to own a direct net profit interest in the Ambler Mining District, or a direct interest. They have to make a decision when we make an investment decision on any of the mines. And we're really looking forward to continue to work closely with NANA and create employment opportunities for the NANA shareholders, as well as procurement opportunities. And then clearly they would have a financial incentive to see the development of the Ambler Mining District go forward. Our third partnership is really with the state of Alaska, and specifically with ADA, which is a development agency. ADA is partnering with us to advance the road that is required to access the Ambler Mining District. And they played a similar role in the development of Red Dog. And the road that we're looking at is a 211-mile road which would connect the Ambler Mining District to the Dalton Highway, which is existing infrastructure. And from there, the concentrate would be trucked to Fairbanks, where there's a rail link that would take the concentrate the rest way to Anchorage, where there's a deep sea port. So where we're at in the road process is the final permit was received record of decision last year in July. That was a long process that had gone on many years, including the final EIS and process, and obviously comment periods in the state of Alaska. We're now moving to the detailed engineering phase. So we just signed an agreement with ADA, which will provide for $70 million of funding. Ambler Metals will fund $35 million. ADA will fund $35 million. That will take us through the detailed engineering phase. And what we hope to do in the prevailing time is focus on the financing of the road, working with ADA, who will be financing and building the road, and ultimately on the construction, which is expected to commence after we make an investment decision on the mine. In terms of the road, this is where it runs. As you can see on this slide, there's lots of dots and squares and stars. All of those are targets, in addition to Ambler, to Arctic and Bornite, which are the development projects that are most advanced. There's two other projects noted here, Sun and Smucker, which are owned by other parties. But the road, as you can see, is in very close proximity to Arctic and Bornite and several other targets that we have in the district. In terms of Arctic, as I mentioned, it's the most advanced development asset in the portfolio. We have roughly 43.4 million tons at 4.2% copper equivalent. This is a high-grade mine and a high-grade opportunity in the state of Alaska. And as you can see from these economics that came out from a Trilogy study released in August of last year, it's a very robust operation at the base case prices that we used when we did this study. Robust when we look at an NPV of $1.1 billion, IRR of 27%. I also like to look at the cash costs, which are low, 32 cents net of credits, and a low capital intensity ratio in terms of copper equivalent per ton. If you look at this in the context of current spot prices, and obviously these spot prices are moving around every day, so they change, but what you can see is that the after-tax NPV increases dramatically to 2.2 billion, effectively doubling based on spot prices. Cash costs become negative 24 cents, and capital intensity ratio stays roughly the same with an IRR of now on an after-tax basis of 40%. So you can see that this project becomes extremely robust in the current copper and base metal price environment. This is what Arctic looks like from a development perspective: open pit to the right, tailings facility top left, infrastructure in the valley. It has a small footprint of about 147 acres. Where we're at in terms of the mine development is we expect the permitting process to begin later this year. We see that taking somewhere between 30 and 36 months, which puts us in a position to hopefully make an investment decision by the end of 2023, early 2024. The good thing is, as I mentioned before, the JV Ambler Metals has $140 million in cash, so that should take them to the point where we'll be able to make an investment decision, and there'll be full funding for all of the exploration programs that we have and development programs that we have, hopefully up to 2024, possibly into 2025. This is the area itself that covers the JV area. It's primarily on state and borough lands, and there's no federal major federal permits required. There's one permit required, the 404 wetland permit, but there's no federal lands that need to be accessed. The remainder of the significant permits are all from the state of Alaska. In terms of exploration potential, we look at this as pearls on a string. Arctic has 43.4 million tons, as I indicated previously, at over 4% copper equivalent. But when you look at Horse Creek, Sunshine, Chinook, BT, there's about 34 million tons of historic resources that we'll be looking to conduct exploration on to further advance and hopefully in due course incorporate as part of the Arctic mine plan at some future date. In addition, Bornite itself is a large resource of roughly 180 million tons, 1.5% copper. That's high-grade copper in the context of what else is out there. So we feel we have lots of runway in terms of looking at exploration in the district. This is what the VTEM survey that we ran in 2019 looks like. As you can see, there's lots of targets or red or explored deposits or selected prospects, and there's abundance of targets within the district. We have a program this year that's going to consist of 14,600 meters of drilling. It's a $27 million program, which includes additional technical work that we'll be conducting at site to advance the project further. So we'll be doing met drilling. We'll also be doing additional work in terms of the geology and processing. So we look to continue to advance the project to the next level. And as I said earlier, we expect to commence the permitting process later this year. This district, the Ambler, the Arctic area in particular, is known as a VMS deposit, and it compares very favorably to other known VMS deposits in the world, Flin Flon and Noranda being a couple that have had multi-decade mine lives. And we see obviously the same potential for Ambler and Bornite, given the size and scale of what we've discovered today. In terms of next steps, we see the Arctic feasibility study being optimized later this year. We also see a summer drill campaign of $27 million being commenced and completed during the course of a year. And lastly, we hope to see the permitting start on the project. We'll also be announcing an update on the project budget to take into consideration the spending that we'll be doing on the engineering associated with the road. So it's an exciting time for us. We're looking at moving the project forward as quickly as we can. We've got high grade. It's located in a great state of Alaska. And these are metals that are obviously going to be very important to electrification of a grid, copper, zinc, cobalt. We think we're very well positioned, and we think the valuation is also at a point where there's lots of upside in terms of share price increase, and we look forward to providing you with further updates in the future. Thank you for your time and attention. Thank you.